What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Die Hard back at it again with another video. And today we're going to be going to discuss my personal tier list on EFT skills. Now, quick disclaimer that this is my personal opinion, this is completely subjective. So, if you see a skill that you think that deserves higher or lower on this list, just put it in the comments and let me know why you disagree or agree. And let's keep it civil in the comments and respectful. I would love to discuss why you think a skill is higher or lower. And without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the video. Also, thank you so much for over 100 views on my first video on like how to level up skills. And if you guys are interested or haven't seen that video already, go check it out. If you want useful information on how to level up your skills effectively and as efficient and as quick as possible, etc., all that good stuff. I recommend you check it out. It's worth your time, especially if you're somebody that wants to get, any skill elite as quick as possible. Well, with that being said, let's hop in, shall we? Now, let's get the obvious two out the way, and I'm pretty sure you guys already know what I'm talking about, and that is strength and endurance. Now, for anybody that's have like at least like 100 hours in the game or even less than that, you already know that you want to have these elite as quick as possible. It's not negotiable. You want to get these elite, and the reason for that is like with strength, weapons don't weigh you down, like they don't count as weight for you. Endurance, you just run longer, you get to hold your breath longer, you get to aim for a lot longer, you get to run faster with strength, you get to carry more, all that good shit basically. And all the essentials that you need for your raids basically. You don't want to be slowed down, you don't want to be sluggish, and all that good shit. So basically you want to get these elite. It's not negotiable. Like, speed run this as much as you can. I mean, most of the time you're not even thinking about it. You're gonna level them up passively, but these are like pretty much vital. You want to get them elite as quick as possible. So the next one we got, this is no particular order. Let's start off with troubleshooting. I guess it's the next one right here. Let me move this down here. I'm gonna save a lot of these for the end, and then I'll explain why in my personal opinion. But let's go on to troubleshooting, since that's the next one. Let's see. Troubleshooting, I would say, is balance. Now, I think troubleshooting is balanced mainly because so if you don't know already, basically it gives you the opportunity to fix a malfunction automatically without it being expected, and without your PMC expecting the weapon to fix it. Now the thing is, like, I think it might be bugged on my end or something like that. I have a keybind where I hold one button to check the malfunction, and I release the button to like fix the malfunction, or to fix a jam, I should say. And for some reason, when I had it elite before I wiped my account, like I couldn't get it to trigger the automatic at all. I think maybe a few times. And the problem is like, I don't know if it's because of a keybind issue or if it's just a skill issue I'm in, or I don't know how necessarily it works most of the time. I mean, if you guys experience this, let me know in the comments. Let me know, because I can't get it to work for, a lot of the time. But that was a while ago. That was before 1.0. Maybe they fixed it, I'm not too sure. So I'm gonna leave it at balance. It's pretty good regardless. You also, another thing is too, it also increases the speed of you fixing the malfunction. Of course, it also I believe it also reduces the chances of the malfunction chance, like the malfunction chance as well. It's pretty good. Like it's solid. Nothing too crazy about that. Let's move on, shall we? All right. So next one we have is Angels. I would say Angels is also balanced as well. I would say Angels is better than Troubleshooting. Now, with Angels, what it does is like you get to aim your weapon faster, which is pretty nice. You also get to reduce your noise of aiming, so that's pretty much only going to come into play in the PvP, but that's still pretty useful nonetheless. For PvE, where it's not going to matter too much, and for Elite, you basically get no arm shaking at any stand for the first 2 seconds, and also reduce like the hand shaking during tremors or fractures for the first 2 seconds. Now that's pretty good on paper as well. Like it's pretty solid, but you know, like if you're pretty good, oftentimes like you're not gonna run into those issues where you're often gonna have a blacked out limb or fractured limb, arm and shit, and out of stam. Like those scenarios are not gonna happen to you that often. But when it does happen, it's definitely gonna like save yourself, like save you in a pinch. So it's like that's pretty much all it is, really. It's like nothing too crazy. Let's move on. But it's pretty good. Next one is Attention. Now, Attention, hot take. You guys might disagree. I think this is balanced as well. Now, I know most of y'all are thinking, like, what? This should be higher on the list. How is it balanced? Like, you insta search. It's so good. And you're right, it is good. The thing is, it's only 50% chance that it's going to happen. And there's going to be times where you're going to try to search, you're not going to get the instant search. And if you're one of those guys that likes to spam the search, like the search X, whatever you like to call it, there's going to be times where you're going to do it for like more than 10 times and still not get an instant search. As whereas like if you would have just let it search by default, you would have saved yourself a little bit more time than trying to gamble to get the instant search right in there. So yeah, in my opinion, it's just balanced, but it's still good. It's just not strong, in my personal opinion, or even must elite. Now, next one is Charisma. All right, so with Charisma, basically, I think it's niche. Now, what it does is like it reduces your operational task costs by 5%. It also reduces like your after raid heal service price, and reduces your prices of like insurance, your paid extracts by 5%, which is like kind of low, really. It's nothing too crazy. Like you're gonna save like a couple of rubles for doing those services, which is negligible. The other thing is like for the elite, you get like added discount on scav cases. Now, honestly, scav cases, like it's of course a gamble, and you're only gonna save 10% of what you normally would have paid for it. This doesn't count for like the moonshine and intel folder, of course, by the way, just for spending the money. So like if you're somebody that uses the scav case and you spend rubles on it, then I guess it could be somewhat useful for you. Oh, and also it reduces your fence standing penalties by 50%. So like if you're a scav and you shoot a scav or boss, it's gonna give you less penalties than normal. And also, I would say the one thing that's good, the one niche elite skill that I like about Charisma is that you get one extra daily task, which is gonna be really good for like getting more XP or getting certain items out of like those tasks and shit like that. So it's like I would say that's the one thing that's good about it. But other than that though, it's very niche. It's like the values on everything else is just too low to actually be impactful for you. So it's like, in my personal opinion, it's niche. Next one is Intellect. Intellect, I think this is also niche as well. Now, like what the effects are, you get increased inspection speed by 100% at elite, so it's like double than what you normally do. It So, and also increases your weapon repair efficiency up to 100% at elite. Reduce repair durability consumption by 25% at elite. Now those are pretty good on paper, but the thing is like, oftentimes if you're using a repair kit and armor and weapon repair kits, you're gonna get the same results out of the weapon maintenance and light and heavy vest skills respectively, and then you'll have the stat of like once you get an elite, you get to have a chance of fully repairing them. So the efficiency and the repair costs. I mean, I would say the repair costs on the armor repair kit is gonna be. Oh, it's not just. My bad. So yeah, it's gonna reduce the repair kit durability consumption. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe it's not niche. I guess I can put it balanced. I wouldn't say it's niche. It could be useful for like using less of your charges and being able to like repair more, get more out of your repairs. I would guess it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, I should say. The ammo counter too. So like when you check your mag, when you have the elite, you get an ammo counter, so it'll tell you the exact amount in that mag instead of saying like fewer bullets or more than half or some shit like that, whatever, right? So it could be good for that as well. Now the one thing that's weird, it does say like guess container contents without searching. Now I don't know what that means. So and if you guys know what that is, let me know in the comments. But other than that though, I mean all the other buffs is pretty nice. I mean nothing too crazy about it. I was thinking like the repair efficiency is only for like weapons, which I mean it is just for weapons, but it's nice if you don't have weapon maintenance elite, which actually most of the time you will have weapon maintenance at elite before intellect. But let me not get off topic. I'm just ranting at this point, but I'll just leave it for balance for now, because the other buffs it can kind of make up for it, I would say. So I'll leave that balance. Now next one is perception. I think perception, my personal opinion, I think it's niche. Now what this does is like at elite you get a proximity, you get like a white dot, like once you're close to loot you get a white dot without you necessarily looking at the item itself. So like let's say if you're standing directly underneath an item, or if you're like a few feet from it, you're gonna get a white dot to give you an idea that you're near loot. Now you would think that's good on paper, right? But if you're new, this could be kind of frustrating, because like you're gonna be sitting there looking around, and sometimes certain items will glitch through floors and walls. So if you don't know the loot spots, it can be quite frustrating for you to try and find what you're looking for per se. But other than that though, I guess it could be helpful for if you understand where the loot spawns are. So if you're trying to like find something particular and you know the spots already, it could be pretty helpful. But other than that though, I think it's still niche. Alright, next one is stress resistance. Stress resistance I think is niche as well. So if you guys don't know already, what this does is it reduces your pain shock chance by 50%. It also reduces your tremor by 60%. And you also get the elite skill is Berserker Mole. And what Berserker Mole does is like you get increased POV, you get infinite stamina, and a painkiller effect for 10 seconds. Now you would think that sounds good on paper, but the problem with that is not only is it only 10 seconds, which is kind of short, but you have to have your health reach like somewhere between 100, below 100 or below 150. I don't know the exact health numbers, but I know you have to be pretty low for it to trigger that effect to happen. And that's kind of like danger territory. You never want to keep yourself like around that range, because you're basically one shot by anybody unless you have really good armor and they're shooting BB bullets at you. But even then, you don't want to take that chances, especially if you're in the middle of a boss fight. You'd never want to put yourself in that scenario to be that low. So yeah, I would not recommend you trying to proc Berserker Bolt just for the infinite stand to hope that you get to like be like fucking Tony Montana on cocaine, just spraying motherfuckers down.
Say hello to my little friend!
and not taking damage and shit like that, right? It's just not gonna happen. But there are cases where it can come into play and help you, and especially if you forget to bring painkillers and you're trying to get yourself out of a get yourself into cover and you're not in an open area where your leg is blacked out and they just happen to shoot your leg off, right? That could be useful for that. But other than that, though, if you're prepared and you got painkillers with you and you got purple and a hotkey, it's really not gonna really come into play for you all that much. But it can be fun. I will say it's fun when it happens. Next one is health. And I think health goes into balance as well. Now for health, what it does is, like, I believe it reduces your chances of receiving a fracture by 60%. And also, like, it reduces your energy consumption and dehydration rate by like 30% at elite. And also the elite skill, it says damage absorption. Now the thing is, the damage absorption I think doesn't work still, and it's been like that since beta, I'm pretty sure, and even with full release it's still bugged. I'm pretty sure I checked the wiki, it still says that it doesn't work properly. So keep that in mind, that even though it says damage absorption and you should, like, in theory, like, maybe take less damage or be healed from the damage you took or whatever the case may be, it just doesn't do anything. But I'll leave it in balance for the reduced fractures and food and hydration rate consumption. They could be pretty useful, so you're not going to get hungry throughout the whole raid super easily. Like, you can go almost like the entire raid without eating and drinking, which could be pretty decent, I guess. So I'll just leave it in balance for now. If the damage absorption ever worked in the future, it could definitely shoot up to strong, but for now we're going to leave it at balance. Next thing is immunity. Immunity, my personal opinion, is definitely a must. I think it's behind these two, but yeah, this is really, really powerful. So in case you don't know, what this does is that not only it's going to reduce your penalties of the negative status effects by like 50%, I think it is. It reduces all the negative effects, stimulants, and even foods too by 50. It's also going to reduce like the poison effect forced on you by 50%. It's going to increase your painkiller duration by 30% at elite, which is pretty nice. So you're going to have your painkillers going to last a lot longer. But the real key is the elite skill. So basically, when you have the elite, you have a 90% chance to ignore a negative status effect, which is insane. That's almost guaranteed. Every time you pop a stimulant, you could pop doubles 1 or 2 and not receive any negative effects and have all the positives, and it's pretty busted in my opinion. You're pretty much like the Winter Soldier for like 15 or 30 minutes. It's kind of nuts. Like, you just turn yourself into a super soldier just by popping those stims for free. And also, you also get 90% chance to ignore the poison effects from cultist knives. Now, that's niche, I would say. If you're good with cultists and you know where they spawn and you know how to prepare for them, you're almost not going to get stabbed by them a lot of the time, so that's not going to come into play for you all that much. But it's nice. I'll say it's nice. But yeah, it's definitely strong. Very, very strong. I recommend it. Now, the downside is it does take a while to level up, so just bear that in mind. But if you watch my guide on how to level up your skills, then you know that max energies is going to be the way. Now, you can also use stims as well. The thing is that they're going to cost you quite a bit, and if you're somebody that sometimes that gets Tarkov, you know, and you still have that negative effect and you die, you don't get the points for it, or you get like by the time you die as opposed to full duration, if that makes sense. I think that's what someone told me. I heard that, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure, but basically you don't want to die though, regardless, while you have that negative stim to level it up. So yeah, it's definitely good, very strong. Recommend you max this out. All right, next one, metabolism. Metabolism, I think it's strong. Now, this is one of those skills that you're gonna get elite first for sure. Like, you get a shit ton of points for just eating and drinking. Now, what it does is pretty much like it reduces your negative effect timer by 50%. So let's say if you have elite immunity or not, it's just going to reduce that negative effect timer of any stimulant by 50%, which is pretty good. Very, very good. And also at elite, it's going to like, you're not going to take any damage from when you're hungry and thirsty, which is pretty handy. Now you're still going to suffer from like the penalties of like no stams for being hungry and thirsty, or you're going to get that blurry vision when you're thirsty or hungry or whatever, you know? So those still will happen, but you just won't lose health, which is, you know, could be useful, but you still want to be eating. So I'm gonna leave it strong. I would say it could be even like muscly, but since you get so much XP, you're not thinking about it, you'll have it elite in no time. I'll leave it strong because the effects are good, and I wouldn't say it's much because you'll just have it like so fast by then. Next thing is vitality. I think vitality goes into strong as well. Now with vitality, it makes it to where you have a 60% chance to reduce bleeds at elite. And also like there's like this weird mechanic where it reduces the chance of death for losing a limb. Now that's been removed in the game. I don't know why that text is still in the game, but yeah. But basically the key thing is just like the 2 elite perks are like all bleeds will stop on its own without you using like a med, like a bandage or calic bleed. So like if you get a light bleed, it takes like 20 seconds to clear on its own, and heavy bleeds is like 30 seconds, which is pretty good. So let's say if you're on a Propital and you're, you know, fighting a bunch of enemies and you want to like have some downtime to like maybe repack your mag and maybe even like listen out for sound, like you can do all that without necessarily using a med to stop the bleed. While you do that, it'll just stop on its own and you'll just eventually heal off the loss of health, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. And also the other effect is like you get increased health regeneration in combat. Now I don't know the exact numbers. I can't necessarily see it while I'm in combat, and I don't know how much I'm getting. Now I don't know if it works or not, so don't quote me on that, but I checked the wiki to see if it works or not, and they didn't leave a note saying it doesn't work, so I would assume it works. It's just like the values is probably low. But even with that being said, even if it's low or not, that's like potentially it's gonna save you a bullet or two from dying if it does work. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it strong for that reason. Next thing is we have is culprit movement. I wouldn't say this is balance. I think this is balance. Now the thing is like with this, it makes your footsteps quieter each time, and like it reduces the noise following your footsteps on common surfaces by 60% at elite, reduces noise level of footsteps on uncommon surfaces by 30% at elite, and you get to increase culprit movement speed by 50% at elite. I think that just means like as you're walking slow, you're moving a little bit faster than normal. I think that's what it means. Reduce the noise level of weapons equipped. I think when you're switching your weapons or something like that, it's quieter, I believe, or something like that. I'm not too sure. Let me know in the comments. And elite skill is Covert movement becomes equally quiet on all surfaces by 6% total. Now I'm not sure what that means basically. So I guess like even if it's max, like it could be the volume mic could be even 0 or like reduced by a lot, which I guess that's pretty good. Now I put it in balance because I think this is definitely strong in PvP. Like it could be strong, but in PvE I think it's just mid. Because AIs will still like hear you and shoot you and shit like that, so I don't think it matters. But I'll still leave it balanced for both. But that's like my personal opinion. But you guys let me know what you guys think on Covert move. This is one skill I did not get elite myself. Next thing is heavy vests. I think this goes to the strong. Same thing with light. They both go in the strong tier. They're very, very strong. Very, very powerful stats. So what they do is like basically for both light and heavy vests, they share one thing in common is that, or a few things in common actually. You get reduced movement speed penalties. Like for light vests is 30% and heavy is like 25% at elite. And also for both light and heavy vests, you get reduced wear and tear, the wear amount for using a repair kit by 40% at elite. And also like at elite you get a chance to repair back to full without it, you know, giving you a repair penalty or something like that. The red bar normally. It's like a 50% chance, which is pretty nice. It's both for both light and heavy. And for the light vest particularly, there's two unique properties for it. So like for light vests, you have to reduce melee damage to bodies covered by light armor by 30%. Now I think this ain't gonna play too much in effect in PvE or PvP. Like the only times you're gonna get melee by enemies is like the Gilla, the cultists, and maybe sometimes like a PMC just like having fun in factory, just trolling around with a sword or something that could save you. But other than that, like that's not gonna come into play too much for you. And for the light vest, the other elite skill, which is really strong, is like body parts covered by light are immune to bleeding. So like if you get shot in those areas where it's covered by light, you're not going to receive any bleeds, which is pretty good. Now for the heavy vest in particular, like a couple things that's really good about for a heavy vest is like you get reduced blunt damage to body the parts covered by heavy by 20%. So like basically the blood damage that you see is like, you know, maybe like a few points of damage on like certain body parts. So like if you get it to 20, that can go even lower. So like that could be pretty helpful. You can survive an extra few shots, which is pretty strong. And also for like the skill, the elite skill, you got a chance to deflect a bullet. But for the heavy armor, so like it could be any bullet. It could be even the turret from like the rogues, like the turrets from the rogues that's on the buildings. You could reflect those even those as well, which is pretty insane in my opinion. I've had that happen when on streets. Got shot right in the thorax where I should have died in one shot and it bounced and I took no damage, but it zeroed out my plate, which is still pretty good. It saved my ass for sure. And with that, it's like pretty powerful. Like you definitely want to get those elite. It's very strong. Also, another thing I forgot to mention too, like at certain levels you get like a buff, like which is reduced damage taken, which is pretty nice. And at elite you get it like 11%, which is common, and in the rare enhancement is 20%, which is pretty good. If you have it elite, you'll get like a 20% if rare enhancement, which is pretty strong. So you can even survive you from more shots with that stat. Definitely don't sleep on those. Try to get those elite as quick as you can. They're tough to elite, so yeah, just try your best to work on it as much as you can. All right, next one, hideout management. Now this one is tough. I think I'm gonna go with strong. Now the reason for it is, you know, you pretty much get reduced consumption of like your fuel, your water filters, and your air filters, which is pretty nice. Now the key thing for the elite is that you get bonuses of all your other hideouts by like I think 50% or something like that. Like it's a decent bonus, and like what that means is like, let's say for example if you have library, and if you have hideout management elite, then those stats could be boosted even higher than what you had previously when you first built it, which could be pretty nuts. So you can potentially get a shit ton of XP for your actual character in raid, and on top of that too, like your physical skills will be leveled up fast, or no, not physical, practical skills will be leveled up faster, and all the other bonuses too, like you know, for your med station or your nutrition, like restoring your health and your hunger passively, those goes up higher as well. So where you basically don't even need to like heal yourself. Like if you want to take a break and then come back like 5 to 10 minutes later, your character will be fully restored. That kind of shit, you know, it's pretty nice. I'd say it's pretty strong. Next one is crafting. Crafting, I think this can also go into strong. Now I debated if I wanted to put it in balance, but I think I'll leave it strong because this is pretty much like profit right here. It allows you to basically craft 2 things at once in one station. So like you could be in med station crafting a pile of meds and maybe like SJ6s or CMS or anything that can make you money. Or if you want to use yourself, just craft those. Like this, pretty much this is a skill that gives you money. Basically, if you want to make passive money, passive income, you know, you want this elite and you'll just like rack up rubles like no other. Pretty nasty, definitely strong. Also, oh, and I forgot to mention hideout management too. I believe allows you to carry 2 extra slots for your Bitcoin, your air filter, and your water filter, and your generator. So that's pretty good too as well. I forgot to mention that. It's also really good why it's strong. But moving on from that, let's go into mag drills. Mag drills, I say it's balanced. It pretty much like you're just packing mags faster, and now the elite skill is like as you keep continuously packing, it's gonna get faster and faster and faster. which is pretty nice. So if you got like 60 round 100 round mags, you're gonna keep packing them faster and faster. But it's not. I don't think it's like stupid fast. And most often than not, or times than not, you're better off bringing extra mags filled. Most of the time, I think you don't want to pack mags that are like more than 60 round mags. Like 60 round mags, certain ones you can pack, that's fine. But like other big mags, like 100 round mags, and even like P90 mags, like a lot of times you just want to bring extras, not sit there and pack them because they still take a long time to do. Instead of just sitting there repacking them over and over. And if you don't mind it, then you know it's good when you have it elite. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's just all right, you know. All right, next one is search. Search, I would say, I think it's balanced as well. It allows me to search 2 things at once. Pretty much guarantee. I'm gonna put it above attention. I would say with search, yeah, you get to search 2 things at once. It's pretty solid, you know. The only thing that sucks is like it's gonna only work on bodies, so it's not like you can search 2 containers at once, right? I mean, obviously the Nava put it up to like strong or even muscle meat, but since it's pretty much gonna work on bodies, since you can search, there's multiple things to search on bodies, of course. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I'll definitely say it's better than intention since you're always guaranteed to search 2 things at once, whereas the instant search for intention it's like 50%. So yeah, definitely goes into balance. Next one is weapon maintenance. I want to say this is also balanced as well. Actually, it's probably even better than Angels. Actually, I'll put it on top of balance. Now with this one, it pretty much allows you to like it reduces the wear and tear while shooting. And also, like, anytime you repair your weapon, you have a chance to, like, fully restore it without causing, like, any durability penalties or anything like that. So that's pretty good. It's pretty useful. Like get to let your gun last a little bit longer. And for the enhancements, at certain levels, you get certain percentages. Like, you'll get, the 2 buffs are reduce weapon spread. So, like, if you're just hip firing, then you got reduced spread. And it stacks with lasers and flashlights and all that stuff, which is pretty good, I'm pretty sure. The other enhancement is reduce malfunction chance by, I believe it's like elite. I'll just mention, like, the spread is like 11% at elite, and the malfunction chance is like 16% at elite. For the comet and the rare enhancement for it, when you have elite, it's like 20 for the spread and 30, something like that for weapon malfunction. Now they're all right. I think weapon spread, of course, is the best one. The malfunction chance, by the time, like, if you repair it and it's at a good durability, it's not going to come into play for you. And most of the time, you're not going to keep using the same gun once it's like below 80 even, if you have those skills elite. Sometimes even not even that. Sometimes you want to like just change your receiver. Yeah, just buy a 80 even sometimes. I mean, I think I might dug it out and try, like, if I get weapon maintenance elite again, I'll see how long I can use a certain gun until I decide to change it out. But yeah, I would say it's still pretty good. You'll get this leveled up pretty quickly, especially if you're picking up broken guns from scavs often. You can level this up pretty quickly. It's pretty good skill. Next one, throw balls. Personally, I think this is niche. Now this is another skill I didn't get elite. Alright, so basically you get increased throw strength by 25% at elite, which is like you pretty much get to throw grenades a little bit further, which is pretty nice, I guess. It's not bad. And reduces required throw energy by 50% at elite, which I don't think it's gonna, like, most of the time when you throw grenades, you're not gonna be out of arm stand. It's gonna be so rare for you to have no arm stand and throw a grenade, because as you're pulling out the grenade, you're recovering arm stand, and by the time you throw it, you're gonna be okay. So most of the time, in my opinion, it's not gonna come into play. Now the elite skill makes it to where throw pulls don't require energy, and fatigue does not affect their aim. So again, same thing, like, you're rarely gonna see yourself running out of arm stand by the time you want to spam grenades. Unless if you have like a shit ton of grenades and you're just chucking them like crazy, then maybe it could be useful. But who's doing that really? Are you gonna be that one that comes in the raid with like 50, M67s or F1 grenades? No, probably not, right? Whether it's PvP or PvE, you're not gonna do that unless you're trolling, right? You just want to have fun. But even then, like, it's not practical. All right, moving on from that, surgery. Surgery is must elite as well. Not as good as immunity. I think immunity is better, but surgery is also no joke too. Basically, you get the surgery at 40% speed for both CMS and Surg 12, and also like you get no health penalties for each surgery no more. So basically, if you surgery that limb, you're not going to receive any penalties. So if it's 65, it'll still be 65 when you surgery it. It's not going to go to 30 or 40 or anything like that. It's going to be the exact same each time, and that's pretty insane. So you're always going to be at full health basically all the time. Like every single surgery, you're not going to lose health over time. It's pretty damn strong, and you're going to be able to live a lot longer, maybe even take a few extra shots if you wouldn't have otherwise for over surgerying yourself a lot of the time throughout the raids. It's very, very strong. Definitely. And then they made it a lot easier too. They made it a lot easier to level up, so you can get this level up in no time. I already have this, like, I think 25, and I haven't been playing as much. And it's just a lot more than what I used to go through when I was leveling this skill. So yeah, definitely get this shit. It's a must. And to wrap this up, we're gonna go with all these. These are pretty much combat ones. Like, this is assault, DMR, and etc. etc. In my opinion, these are all golden wasted time. Now the reason for that is they all pretty much share the same stat except for like different categories. So like, you know, the pistol, revolvers, assault rifles, they give the same stat just for the different for that specific weapon type. And honestly, the stats aren't even that good, in my opinion. Like, what one is like you get double XP gain for mastery on that type, but if you're somebody that's using every single gun, then you'll have all your weapons mastery by the time before you even have, you know, that particular weapon type elite. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not gonna come into play at all. Now, I would say the one stat that's good, I guess, is like you get to have steady aim for the first 3 seconds of shooting, or like regardless of any stamina conditions, which I guess is okay. But if you're someone that uses like assault rifles or DMRs, whatever weapon you like often, you know, you're mostly not going to notice too much of a difference. And even then, it's not in the right form about really. It's not too crazy. And I think what else? Like, you get to switch weapons faster and reload slightly faster. Like, I hardly notice too much of a difference with them. Like, there's small increase. I mean, I guess they could save you in a pinch, but these are like ones that you're just gonna level up fastly anyway. You're not gonna think about too much like, oh, I need to get this elite, you know, blah blah blah. No, you just do damage, you'll get points, and you'll be chilling. So it's like, don't bother trying to go out of your way to level up by shooting scav legs or whatever. It's just gonna happen naturally. You'll get a level up, and even with the buffs that you get, it's just okay, I guess. And with that being said, that is the tier list for y'all. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, this is just my opinion, you know. If you guys disagree, let me know why in the comments, and tell me why a particular skill is better than, you know, what I put, you know. Put it all in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And goddamn, this video's been like 45 minutes. I recorded for 45 minutes. Holy shit. But yeah, with that being said, you know, it's been your boy, Die. And remember, always work hard for the money or die trying. Take it easy, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.